y'all doing? It's Shanny Blossom, and I'm here and I'm back with another video. I haven't done like a sit down video since like I first rebranded the channel. So first things first, I just wanted to let y'all know that I do miss y'all. Hopefully y'all checked out my other vlogs, because I've done some vlogs. I went back home recently, and this vlog is about some of the things that I went home to do. Because there was a lot of stuff in that last vlog. But first things first, check out my shirt. This says, I love my church. While I'm up here, I go to New Generation Church, RVA. So if you're ever in the Richmond, Virginia area, check that church out, because it is the bombs like cool. So yeah, so this video is going to be about how I quit my job. Y'all, yes, it's true. I quit my job, y'all. I had been working for my former school district for the past 3 years. This was my third year, and I truly loved all of the students that I got to work with. I truly enjoyed like all of the co-workers I got to get to know this upcoming school year, because I transitioned from elementary to high school. But I decided that it was time for me to let that job go. I have been contemplating doing this for a long time, ever since my second year of doing the job. I tried to figure out if it was because I didn't want to be in the profession anymore. I tried to figure out if it was, you know, all the many different things that I was supposedly supposed to do that I felt like wasn't in my scope of practice. I tried to figure out if it was due to prior burnout the year that I had previously. I tried to figure out a lot of different things. I was, you know, talking with some of my coworkers, like, I don't know if I should go back to school. I don't know if I should be trying to translate my resume to a whole nother field. I was looking at even going to a whole nother field. But I had a conversation with one of my coworkers, and she was like, Chantel, you're young in this field, so stay in it. And for those of you all who don't know what I do speech therapy. So she was like, maybe you just need to try another setting, because I worked in the public school system. I also did PRN speech therapy, which I actually liked. It's just sometimes with PRN speech therapy, you don't get a lot of opportunities to work. You have to have kind of like multiple jobs to get what you want. The pay is good, but you don't get a lot of opportunities. At least I didn't personally. And then it's kind of like wishy-washy when it comes to clientele, because one week your census might be very high, and then other week it might be very low. So I had been contemplating whether what I was gonna do. And I decided to rule out going back to school, because I am in student loan debt. And for those millennials out there that know the burden of being in student loan debt, y'all know that it sucks. Like, I don't ever want to go in that much debt again, and I'm trying to work out a plan on how to pay off my student loan. So I'm actually in a plan that I set up personally between me and God. We had a conversation, came up with a plan on how to kind of like get my loan debt down. So I'm trying to pay off some loan debt. So woohoo to me. So I didn't want to get in any more debt, so I ruled that out. Then I was like, well, how can I translate the skills that I have learned from speech therapy to a whole nother field? And it just became too much. And so I really didn't know what to do. And so it came time to the end of the school year. At the end of the school year, you have to sign your contract to come back the next school year, the following school year. So as I was getting close to the end of the school year, there had been little things that had happened within my department I wasn't really satisfied with. I wasn't happy about. I didn't like the direction things were going in. But I had to humble myself as well, because it's like, well, this pays my bills. So at the end of the day, even though I might not like something, I still have to be respectful. And I found myself, thinking about the next school year, and I just found myself dreading it. And I was like, oh, nah. So I was going to stay on one more year. I was going to do 4 years in the district, and I thought about going back to the school, not my particular school, because I liked it. I liked my office and everything was really nice. But when I thought about going back, I was like, I'm not signing my intent form. I'm not signing my contract to go back after next year. And I remember just thinking that to myself, and I believe this was like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before school got out. And I remember hearing a voice like, what difference does a year make? And when I heard that, I got a little scared, and I was like, a year makes so much of a difference, because I'll have enough money saved up to go ahead and do what I want to do, and it won't be as scary. But then I started to think about it, I would still be in the same boat. I would only have a short time frame to get where I wanted to be in life. And so with that being said, I started to kind of like build up my confidence in the fact that I didn't think that I wanted to sign my contract. I had already signed my intent form that I was going to be staying on, but I didn't know if I wanted to sign my contract. So after it was all said and done, they hadn't presented the contracts to anybody. So it was a time crunch. Everybody was trying to figure out, when are we getting our contracts? When are we getting our contracts? We don't know. And so push came to shove. I started applying for other jobs, and I was getting turned down from certain jobs. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm trying to make an exit. I know I heard the voice loud and clear. I believe it was the Lord that told me that. I'm like, what's supposed to happen? I don't really understand what's going on here. And so after all of that, I went and I applied elsewhere. And I was on an interview, and the young lady pretty much told me, she was like, well, if you sign your contract with your current school, you pretty much can't get a job here. And so I was like, thinking in my head, I don't think I'm going to sign the contract. I don't think I'm going to sign the contract. So I was waiting to hear back. And it was crunch time. They ended up sending me the contract after I left that interview. I had applied to jobs in the same current city that I'm in now, and I applied to jobs elsewhere. And I remember sitting there like, okay. So she was like, it'll take about a week. We'll get back to you in a week. Well, a week came. I already had my contract, and it was the last day to sign it. And inside, I was like, I don't want to sign it. I'm not going to sign this contract. But I also knew that I was like, I don't want to do this based off of how I feel about the direction of things or how things are going. So I called my mother, and my mother was like, go ahead and sign the contract. But y'all, and my mom never says stuff like this, because she's like, secure, secure, secure. So my mom was like, but if you feel deep down inside that you shouldn't sign this contract, Chantel, do not sign it. And I paused for like a minute, y'all, and I told her, Mom, I don't want to sign this contract. And I'm getting a little emotional right now. I don't want to sign the contract. And after I said that, y'all, I had so much peace. Like, I had so much peace about it after I was able to say it out loud. And my mom paused for like a minute. I didn't know what she was going to say, but after a minute, she was like, Chantel, we're going to make it work. Everything is going to be fine. We will make this work. She was like, as long as you're happy with your decision, everything will work out the way that it's supposed to. We will make this work. And when she told me that, I just got so much reassurance. And I was actually on the way to talk to my supervisor, not about me not signing the contract, but about me doing some other things that she needed me to do. And so I went in there. I wasn't going to bring anything up to her because I had known. I had a Skype interview prior to, I had a phone interview with the company prior to that. I will talk to y'all a little bit about later. But I had all this stuff set up, but I just didn't want to tell her because I didn't know that anything would fall through or come through for me personally. And so when I was in there, my supervisor, she was like, "Are you coming back? Do you want to be at your same school next year?" And when she told me that, I was like, I have to be honest with her and let her know. And so I let her know that I potentially wouldn't be coming back, and that I would potentially, there might be a possibility that I might have to move. I didn't know. And so she was happy for me. She was fine with it. And so that gave me another sense of relief. And then I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and sign it. And then later, if I do get a job, then I'll just get out of the contract. But I still didn't feel settled on that. And so I called my father. I laid everything out. I mean, I was out of breath after I finished laying everything out. And my father, he paused for 1 minute and he was like, "Chantel, don't sign the contract. Don't do anything you don't want to do. This is the time now for you to step out in faith and not live in fear. Don't do it." And as soon as he said that, I literally was like, "Lord, I'm not going to sign the contract." So it had been confirmed to me that it was not my time to sign the contract anymore and that I would be leaving for sure. I hadn't let a lot of people know because I had interviews set up in North Carolina, but I didn't know the outcomes of those interviews. I didn't know if I was going to get the job or not. This was just something that was, pre-planned, but I didn't know the outcome. And so I walked out that day just being like, whatever happens, happens, Lord. I don't really understand. I only got really a month, 2 months to get a job, but I'ma just not sign it, and I'ma trust you and not second guess myself anymore. I made a decision. This is what it is. I'm not doing anything else anymore. And so they ended up, my former job ended up sending me an email saying, "Hey, we noticed that you didn't sign your contract. Either sign your contract or we're going to have a meeting. You're going to be excused from employment and all this other type of stuff. Or if it's time for you to retire, let someone know." And so I ended up sending an email to the lady and letting her know, "Hey, listen, I'm not coming back." And so I ended up calling my supervisor, letting her know, "Hey, I'm not coming back." And there are a couple of more people that I have to let know this information. But I went on this one interview for this job. And the job seemed like it was for me because it would allow me to it's going to be a clinic-based position. I would get to see the kids in the clinic. I will be a part of a pilot program to help kind of establish the clinic, and then they would hire other therapists after. They're giving me an opportunity and room to grow, and I just felt like this is good for me. And so literally I was like, okay, I have this one. I told him I need to think about it first because, to be honest, I was scared, y'all. I was so scared. I was scared. So then I went on another job interview. Everything was, good, but I knew that that's not what I wanted. And so I had gotten this mentality that I'm not going to accept less than what I want in life, because in life, me personally, I accept a lot of things even though I don't necessarily like it, but I just determined in my heart that I'm not going to do that anymore. And so I knew that I wasn't going to take that job when I was sitting in the interview. And so I stalled. I was like, I need to talk to people. So I called my friends. I called my mom and my sister. I called my dad. And when I got on the phone with my dad is a very direct person, but I love him for this. He was like, "Why are you talking to me? Call your new employer back and let him know that you accept the job." And so I went, y'all, and I called the man back, and I was so scared, y'all. But when I got on the phone, I felt this sense of peace. And so I told him, I left him a message, and I didn't put the I didn't put whether I accepted the job in the message. I said, call me back when you get a chance. I want to tell you my decision. And so he called me back maybe like 10 minutes later, and I told him that I accepted it. And he was like, we're so happy that you decided to come on board, Chantel. And I was like, you know what? I'm excited too. And so I felt a sense of peace. But then it came time for me to actually tell, my apostle. It came time to tell my friends and everything. And I started getting a little sad because when I moved to Richmond, Virginia, the first time, I lost some people along the way. But God can restore, but I just knew that I lost some people along the way. And so that kind of hurt. And I was like, well, now I'm going to be leaving this group of people, which I consider to be my second family. And it was really sad for me. And so I cried and everything like that. But I started to know that I had to get stuff worked out. So I ended up, calling different places. I found an apartment the same day. I found an apartment. I started finding movers. I got everything connected. Everything kind of like worked out. It was stressful. I'm not gonna lie. Moving is stressful. Don't let that be a lie or nothing. It's stressful. But I got everything done in a matter of 2 to 3 days. So that was settled, already done. I ain't have to really too much worry about it because everything just kind of fell in place. That's how I knew it was God, because everything kind of fell into place. And so then I talked to my apostle. He was fine with it. After I talked to him, I was just like, wow. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I keep on getting emotional, but I was like, okay, wow, this is good. Okay, he's okay. So then I called my friends and they were okay. They, we don't want to leave each other. We love each other. We want to be around each other all the time. But at the same time, I have another friend who is moving as well. And I put her in my prayer. I forgot to add this in here, y'all. So when I went to interview for the job, I said, I really like this job, God. If this is a job for me, please allow my friend to move around the same time that I move. How about, y'all, I'm not lying when I tell y'all this. This is how I know God is real, y'all. How about when I got home officially, my friend called me on the phone. She said, Chantel, I have set a date to move. I am moving on such and such date. Y'all, when I tell y'all that God answers prayer, that is so small to a lot of people, but to me, that was my confirmation that this is the will of the Lord for my life. I don't know what's going to happen when I move. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I've dealt with a lot of fear concerning this move. There's been a lot of things that have really attacked me since I've decided to move. Like, I'm really fighting spiritually every single day. That's why this month I'm doing like a whole challenge to myself where I'm taking 30 days. I know there's probably 31 days in July, but I'm taking 30 days to just fast, gain clarity, do stuff for me, pack, do everything I need to do to have a clearer mind. And the Lord has been revealing a lot of things in my heart that he wants to get out, and a lot of it ain't nice, but he's doing it, and I'm letting him do it. And I failed miserably, and I've gotten back up again. And God is faithful and just, and he doesn't want to take me to this new place with the same mindset that I've had in the past, the same heart that I've had in the past. So there's a lot of shifting and changing through this transition that I'm going through. So I'm truly in a transition period. I just wanted to get on here and share that, yes, I quit my job. I did not sign my contract. I did not have a secured position. I had interviews, but just because you have an interview doesn't mean that anything is secured. So I had interviews. Turns out the job that I really truly wanted, God allowed me to have it, I put a prayer out there for confirmation. The Lord answered my prayer with that confirmation, with my friend moving at around the same time that I'm moving. Everything kind of worked out seamlessly and is working out seamlessly. That's how I know God is in the details. And on top of that, he's pushing me to be transformed even in this transition. It's not just about the transition. It's about me getting my house in order so that I could be used by him. I don't know in what ways the Lord is going to use me. I don't know. I know some ways, but not every way. I know that he's called me to live a life of faith, and I've allowed fear and negativity and rejection, isolation, different things that have held me bound for so long. I feel like God is like, I have to break that off of you, Chantel. And so this is truly a season of transition for me. It might be a season of transition for a lot of other people. So just be mindful of the time and the season that you're in, because God is speaking and he's transforming and he's changing and he's transitioning and he's doing things. Make sure that you're aware of where you are personally. Everybody's doing something different. But I really truly feel like this is a transition season. Like, I don't really understand it. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I operated in faith and I quit my job. And I don't hate my job. To the person that's going to my job, you are going to be blessed, okay? I put blessings over you right now. But it was my time to go. I'm still a little nervous when it comes to the new position because I'll be the only speech therapist, but I'm just going to let God do the work. I'm just going to continue to have a learning spirit and an adaptable spirit, but not letting go of the truth that he's given to me. And I just wanted to share I quit my job story, and I found my job. I found my job. So I am now employed. I have a whole month until I move. But that's going to be filled with a lot of different things that are currently happening right now. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. I hope that y'all are having a great day. And I will talk to y'all later. If you have any questions, I couldn't put every single detail in this because it's a lot. And the video would be too long. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, you can go ahead and ask me. I'll have my information in the description box. Email me, comment on here. I will answer your comments. Like this, please subscribe. Hit the bell notification just so you know when I have videos coming out, because I'm going to try to be faithful and true to my word, like I said. And then, engage. Let's all support one another. So this is Shani Blossom. This is the video for today. And I hope that y'all are having a great rest of y'all week. Bye.